Back again, everybody. What's up? It's 4:20 p.m. Eastern Time. This is your good pal JerDog with the 420 report. Getting ready to rant and rave. So buckle up, buttercup. Actually, I hate that phrase. There's a lot of phrases that I can't stand that are very similar to that. You know, like just saying. Just saying. It's like, no shit, you're just saying it because you just said it. In any case, what's up, guys? While the audience joins in, let me go over the upcoming show dates. As a matter of fact, I've just got one right now that I'm promoting, and that is this Friday night, June 21st, Columbus, Nebraska, BT's Bar and Billiards. We're looking at a packed house. So if you don't have tickets, you better get them quick or you might be fucked. And then after that, I'm going on a little vacation, staycation, checking out on the scene. I'll probably be doing live videos. I can't help but do these live videos. It's one of the best parts of my day, no matter how shitty the day is. And let me tell you something. I've had last few days have been a little bit shitty, hence the title of the video. The best comedy comes from pain. And this was something that was brought to my attention earlier in the week. Last Saturday, I don't know if you caught it or not. If you did, you saw me talking about one of my heroes in comedy, who I consider to be the greatest of all time, and that is Mr. Richard Pryor himself. I was in Peoria, Illinois. I just got done with the show the night before at the Norwood Pub and Grub, which, by the way, was a crazy night of comedy. So shout out to Stephanie and Larry and everybody up there for bringing in my show, and shout out to all the people who drank one too many shots of Fireball and were puking out in the parking lot during the show. But Peoria, Illinois is the birthplace of Richard Pryor. They've got a Richard Pryor monument there, which anytime I'm traveling through Peoria, I've always got to stop to pay respects to the GOAT, the greatest of all time, Mr. Richard Pryor himself. And there are a lot of reasons why I consider him to be the greatest of all time. I went into some of those reasons in that video, and if you didn't see it, just scroll down on my page and then you can check that out. It's also on my podcast and on my YouTube channel at The Bar Comic if you want to see any of that. But I talked about, like, what is that when you are somebody like Richard Pryor who grows up, is born in a brothel, grows up in some of the worst, most dire circumstances, he has an abusive father, throws him out of the house at one point, I believe. Now, that might just be in JoJo Dancer. For a really good movie that's semi-autobiographical on Richard Pryor, just check out JoJo Dancer. I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix. I'm not sure if it's on Netflix streaming or not, but you can get it somewhere. JoJo Dancer. And it's pretty much Richard Pryor's biography, just put into sort of a fictionalized account. Really fucking cool. But the dude grew up in, like, terrible circumstances and went on to achieve fame and fortune as one of the greatest comedians of all time. And I asked, like, what is it about that where you are in a really shitty situation and then you're able to turn that into success as a comedian? And one of my friends brought up he's made a comment that, well, the best comedy comes from pain. And I absolutely 100% agree with that. I mean, I get very fucking grumpy when I'm having a shit day, as I imagine most people do. I don't come on here and be like, I'm just positive, whoopity doopity, herpity derpity, always positive, no matter what's no. Shit goes down. It fucking pisses me off. It affects me. I start ranting and raving, and that's usually when the most colorful. That's usually when I start speaking the most colorfully. You know what I'm saying? That's usually when I start finding connections. That's usually as a way to cover and mask the pain. I start finding ways to crack jokes and alleviate all of that stress and frustration through comedy. And if you're having a shitty week and you want to blow off some steam, you should just go out and see a comedy show, you know? It's a good way to forget about all the bullshit going on in the world. Like this Friday night, Columbus, Nebraska, at BT's Bar and Billiards. So when I have a shitty date, like, I'll be grumpy. I'll be pissed off. But I also got to keep in mind, like, you know, this is what's going to lead to some good material. You know, I get out the notebook. In fact, that's what my wife will say to me a lot of times. I'll start pissing and moaning about this, that, or the other thing. And then my wife's like, I don't even want to hear it. Just get out your notebook and start writing it down. You know you're going to come up with some good jokes out of this. And I'm like, yeah. I get the time. That's really fucking annoying. But she's always right. Whenever you're having a really, really shitty situation, and this is one of the blessings as a comedian, is like I'm able to literally put the silver lining on the cloud because I know that I can rant and rave and probably turn that into some pretty decent stand-up comedy to take on the road with me. And then other people that are having a shitty time are going to be able to enjoy themselves and forget about all the bullshit through me ranting and raving and turning that into something positive and comedy. You know, the best comedy comes from pain, and that is, my friends, is exactly why I feel like Richard Pryor is one of the greatest of all time, because he did. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, the best comedy comes from pain. This is the best comedy comes from pain part 2, because in the last video that I was just throwing down got interrupted due to this shitty internet connection that we have here. Like, somehow in the last month, I have wound up with some of the shittiest internet service ever, and it's driving me fucking nuts, man. It's making me absolutely crazy. I'm in the middle of a point. I'm just getting into the flow. I'm finally on a fucking roll. And then here comes a little buffering thing due to poor wireless connection. It's not even wireless. I got this son of a bitch hooked up to the Ethernet cable. It makes me fucking nuts, man. And now I'm ranting and raving. The best comedy comes from pain. And I can't even remember now the actual point that I was trying to make earlier about how Richard Pryor is the greatest comedian because he grew up in dire situations. But then, okay, so the internet cuts out, and this has been going on all week. Now, I start ranting and raving about it, and I know that it doesn't always come out hilarious, but this is really the best way to get all that shit off of your chest. And then you turn around and you make it into jokes. You turn around and you turn it into stand-up comedy, take on the road with you. And then people can resonate with that. People will feel that in their bones. They can relate to what you're talking about because you're an actual real person talking about real life bullshit that they can connect with. And make no mistake about it, my friends, doing stand-up comedy it definitely requires creating an emotional connection with the audience. Otherwise, you're missing the boat. There's a lot of comedians that they get out there and they say that it's just about making people laugh. I just want to make people laugh. I'm just here to write good jokes and make people laugh. Then you're probably not going to be that good at comedy, or at least stand-up comedy. Stand-up comedy is about keeping it real, raw, honest, unfiltered, and from the heart. And sometimes that might come off a little ranty and ravey, especially when I'm on a live video and there's actually not the spontaneous reaction of laughter coming right back at me. I mean, the only thing that I can consider positive feedback is when I see the little likes and loves and happy face icons going up from people watching these things. Otherwise, I don't know how this is coming across. So I just start going. I just start speaking freely, openly and honestly from the heart, and hopefully turn that into something that people can relate with and can possibly even laugh at. And if not, I go back and fucking watch this shit, and then I'll start extracting ideas out of that and put that into my routine that weekend, like this Friday night in Columbus, Nebraska at BT's Bar and Billiards. I'm looking forward to that, and I'll put the information in the video description above or in the comments below so any of my Nebraska fans or friends or followers can come on out and see the show. If you have If you have a stressful week and want to blow off some steam and hang out with some friends and have some drinks and share some laughs, this Friday night at BT's Bar and Billiards will be a good fucking place to do that. It'll be a good opportunity for that. I get ranting and raving, and and that's always been my favorite kind of comedian anyway. It's like the rant style, like the guy that's on stage. You're like, holy shit, this guy's like 2 steps away from having a fucking nervous breakdown. Like, that's what keeps you captivated. If you're going to get up there and just do the same old trite jokes, knock, knock, who's there? Water, who? What are you waiting for? If you're going to do that Laffy Taffy shit, you're not probably making an emotional connection with the crowd unless your audience is children. And there's a totally different type of comedy that appeals to children. And you don't necessarily have to go full tilt with ranting and raving when you're entertaining kids. But if you're in a nightclub, tavern, or neighborhood bar where everybody's supposedly over 21, it's a drinking crowd, they're all adults, you got to do stuff that's going to be real and honest and relatable and make that emotional connection with them. If you don't, they're just going to forget about you anyway. Why would they applaud? Why would they applaud at something you have to say? Why would they laugh hysterically, uncontrollably, and involuntarily? The best laughter is the involuntary laughter, not that courtesy laughter. Ha 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 ha. I recognize that was clever. Ha 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 ha. No, the shit where you are like, oh my God, I should probably not be laughing at that, but that hit pretty fucking close to the bone, and I almost can't not laugh at it. That's why I say the best comedy comes from pain, because it gives you something that you actually have to get off your fucking chest in order to communicate and make an emotional connection with the crowd. A lot of people are like, hey, don't you wish there could be more females in comedy? Shouldn't there be more females in comedy? No, and this isn't a sexist thing. It's actually a pro-female thing. If there are more females in comedy, that means things are worse for women. You know what I'm saying? Like, ultimately, the best comedy would be no comedy, because we'd all just be living in this happy-go-lucky utopia where we wouldn't have these things to fucking rant and rave about, and have to create comedy and have to create laughter as a form of medicine in order to get over all that bullshit. Hey, Skylar, what's up? Jack gives a couple of flash bangs and a vomit emoji. I like it, Jack Wild. Skylar says, sorry, I missed you in Peoria. No problem, dude. No problem. Life comes up, life happens, and we all got things to deal with. I understand, dude. You will have plenty of chances to see the JerDog Comedy Roadshow anytime and very, very soon. And wherever you're watching from, let me know, and I will let you know when the JerDog Comedy Roadshow will be coming to your area soon. Otherwise, this Friday night, June 21st, Columbus, Nebraska, at BT's Bar and Billiards. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video right now. Thank you for watching. I'll be back tomorrow, Wednesday, same time, same place, 4:20 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for Hump Day Happy Hour, provided the internet connection fucking works. All right, until then, dog bless America.